Another wonderful day, another fine day. We get together and we have conversations. We get together and we talk. We get together and we have conversations with people who are making things happen in our community. We get together and we talk to people who are influencing the community. We get together and we talk to people who care about our community. Oof, 22 minutes late. This is horrible. I had a meeting, underestimated how long the meeting was going to take. But at least I did now. Maybe if we do maybe one or two. Yeah, I hope see our guests also will come on time. Yeah, it's gonna be a football conversation. Who sure that thing that I want to talk about no and no other thing not do I want to talk about me and no. I only know we're talking about football. I only know we're talking about football. No other thing not do I want to talk about me and no. I only know we're talking about football. Yeah, I only know we're talking about football. But I think we'll have a fine conversation, especially with the things that don't just happen. Champions League, Champions League. Yeah, God, it's crazy. It's crazy. Football are the most unpredictable thing that they happen around the world. Very, very unpredictable. You cannot even tell who is who or what is what. Back in the days, man, they even felt to say, oh, maybe the man will win or that man will win. Nowadays, you know, if you tell who go win or who no go win, who be who. Now only for few, they fit enter and then play, and then decide who be who. I hope so my guests will be here on time. Even though Mrs. Abby will run late. A black man. I will run late, but I hope so my guests will be on time. See how crazy we are sometimes. By the way, any person who's watching, how is your day going? Yeah. How you watch the Champions League? How you actually watch the games? What is your take on the footballing activities that go on around the world? How you see them? What do you think? What do you think about the plenty of football things that happen around the world? For some reason, I'm not just okay with the way this one wants his position. You should this t-shirt right there. I'm kind of way. I think I wrote down a few points I wanted to talk about. First of all, UEFA Champions League. I'm starting to have the impression Mbappe might finally never win the Champions League. Money life is crazy. This is someone who about 6 years ago, 8 years ago, they win their first World Cup when they were really young, and everyone was like, "Oh, we don't get the next Ronaldo, we don't get the next Messi, oh, we don't get the next Messi." Um, and then all of a sudden, Mbappe and Haaland and the rest of them, when they come up, they the only proof for we. I mean, Yamal, they the only proof for we see. For be Ronaldo, maybe Gary, for be Messi, maybe piece of cake. Because I say for be Ronaldo, maybe Gary, or for be Messi, maybe Gary, because we all watch Ronaldo and Messi win and win and win. We see them win and win different things, and we be feel say Now some really, really easy thing. Until now, we realize that Mbappe, they will be the trust and Sute, the belief in Sute. They never even win one small thing. They never even win one small thing. But that is life. You never know which will get on until you lose them. Yeah, I mean, if you say by now, Mbappe for only like 2 or 3 Champions League. But the way the team they go, they go hard there. The way the team they go, they will win that Champions League go hand Mbappe fine. If care is not taken, but if you say by now, go don't win like 2 Ballon d'Or. Because my sister win that thing the way they really young. And when Mbappe came to the limelight, especially with the World Cup where we get them and the Egypt we win that World Cup, we actually thought he was going to just start breaking records and just start doing some really crazy things. But right now it feels like he's stuck. Right now it feels like Mbappe run tight. Right now it feels like Mbappe need for breathe. Right now Mbappe is shouting, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Actually because he can't breathe. Yeah, because he actually can't breathe. Yeah. I don't know. You I guess he didn't know. I look some people that just laugh. If you push my man talk something way, it will turn me a problem. Guys, how do I see that Champions League? How that Champions League they go for your own eye, they go fine. I also when I get me, it seems like the whole of me work and need come out. I also those who they watch they hear me. Yeah, so as I be talk, I be if you say by now Mbappe go don win like 3 Champions League, like I don't know so football go hard like for that maths. Okay, let's go. So, hi everyone. It's another wonderful day. It's another fine day. We get here and we have conversations. We get here and we talk. We get here and we talk about the things we like. We get here and we talk about the things that makes us happy. We get here and we talk about the things we find interest in. In most cases, football. Now the one thing that I know say I know I'm for some level. I know I'm especially we play and so on. I know I'm especially from that very young age. If you start involved with okay, then our guests don't come. If you start involved with soccer, so you get a few at least you get some small idea on where to be waiting. A day later, this is set up. When you finish set up, I'll bring it in and then we'll continue the conversation. But like I said earlier, I think it's going to be a fine one. Okay, I think see they're ready now. Uh, Baba Alpha,
Are they for you?
you get
Are they
me?
for you?
You
Hold
get
on.
me?
I get you. Hold on, ma. See, maybe my.
No, I get you.
Oh, you get me? Okay, cool. Are they fine?
Yeah, I get you very well, man. Thank you, and I apologize for the late start. I go on side go do something, and then Progress have get some meeting and then the person to take me some extra time them. But again, thank you for wanting to do this with us. As you the dream what I did that Champions League today worry.
Yeah, man. I just come out to play some marathon tennis. We'll be back. You hear me?
I did tell people say I did get you. I did tell people say tennis be difficult past football, they argue me.
Oh yeah. Tennis is one of the most difficult sports to play.
Yeah, I tell them say any veteran when you see the play tennis, if you likely play football for that age and really play better than he play tennis.
If I tell you I play for 2 hours 30 minutes, I burnt 1,400 calories. Now so my food they all don't go.
Wow. Mo start for Champions League. How you see the games yesterday and today?
Wow. I mean, the one yesterday, Barcelona Atletico Madrid was a great game. I liked it because it made Barcelona to come out and play, right? Of course, they'll always come out and play, but Atletico Madrid used a lot of discipline. And you see, the margins of error is just very small, right? It's difficult to play 10 men against 11 when it's already like quarterfinals. Because these guys are so technically savvy and they know how to exploit your weaknesses. Also, see what happened to Real Madrid today. As soon as Camavinga got that second yellow card, red card, the game was over for Real Madrid. And in the space of how many minutes? In space of 10 minutes, they went 2 goals down. It just tells you how tight those games are actually. But it was like great games, And for me, when I look at Paris Saint-Germain, the way they disposed of Liverpool, you see a team like Paris Saint-Germain, they start the season slow. But when they get to this moment, you see, they are well rested. And you see their league is not as competitive as maybe the EPL, as maybe the Spanish league. So they have enough time to rest players like Dembele. Because they know that when it comes down the stretch, those players will be very, very essential. So there are some good games coming up, in the semifinals.
Where do you think that they make the difference for the kind of game then? Because you see some team like Barcelona exceptional, you see some team like Real Madrid exceptional, but then they lost for the kind of Champions League game, home and away. Where do you feel say they make the difference for the team then? Or the players?
If you watch Real Madrid, right? Real Madrid has gone through transition from the last time they actually won their Champions League. Their midfield, Toni Kroos, the veteran, is gone. Luka Modric left last year. So Real Madrid did not replace that midfield. They decided to go in for Mbappe, who for me, I think was a luxury player. Real Madrid did not need Mbappe. But that's Real Madrid. Real Madrid will always go for the best players. So they went in for Mbappe. That midfield destabilized. The defense not as good. However, they made a change in coaching. And they beat Manchester City. Manchester City, a team that was also struggling, But hey, when you look at Real Madrid, they are 9 points adrift Barcelona in La Liga. But Champions League, you always know Real Madrid will be around the corner because they are a good team in transition. When you look at Barcelona, I've always said this. I have this philosophy. I say defense wins championships. And what I mean by that is, of course, you have to be able to create opportunities. But a team that can defend and make it difficult for the opponent, and a team that can create at the same time, like Paris Saint-Germain, you see they are very, very balanced. They can defend and they can play. That's why right now they are most people's favorite. However, I think Bayern Munich has a chance to beat Paris Saint-Germain because when I watched Bayern Munich play Paris Saint-Germain last summer in the FIFA Club World Cup, where the young man got what's his name? He got injured. The young German guy got injured. I thought Bayern Munich had a chance to beat Paris Saint-Germain. Now, this is their opportunity to beat Paris Saint-Germain. And I think Bayern Munich has what it takes. But it's difficult to predict these games because both teams are playing at a very high level. And for me, this is a final before the finals. So at this point, any team can make it to the finals. Arsenal against Atletico Madrid. Arsenal can defend, Atletico Madrid can defend. I will slightly favor Arsenal. Although Arsenal is not rolling on all cylinders, it's tough to score Arsenal. Arsenal, the whole competition has conceded only 5 goals.
Yeah.
5 goals, So it's tough. It's tough to score against them.
But plenty deep particular as deep as let's talk about them a little bit because the concern with people now say Arsenal know for raise person in hope. They know for make you feel like okay, this season that has so that they are here. And then just when you think say okay, ma blink, boom, they don't lost for some very funny way, and that's it. They start with again next year.
Yeah, the problem with Arsenal right now is their midfield. I think Moreno getting injured and what's his name? Partey leaving the squad. It leaves you with 2 players, Zubimendi and Rice, who don't have the same tactical or technical, I'll say technical ability like a Partey, to be elusive, to be able to receive the ball, draw pressure, and then make that pass. If you see the last game where Arsenal lost against Bournemouth, if you see the combination of Rice and Zubimendi, they lost a lot of balls, about 40-something balls in that midfield. And it's difficult to lose balls like that and be able to beat teams at this high level because what happens is that the teams that can press very well and create turnovers, just look at the games today. Okay, how did the goals come up? Even the games yesterday, most goals are scored nowadays, turnovers and in transition.
Yeah.
Of course, Arsenal can score you from corner kick, free kicks and all that. So Arsenal, yes, unfortunately for them, I think their form has dipped at a very, very wrong moment. However, they still have the players, to make the difference. And Arsenal has a great shot to make it to the finals of the Champions League.
One of the concern where me particularly get Mbappe, Lamine Yamal, Haaland, and most of the other players, and by now will be the say as Messi and Ronaldo they retire, will get people there that will win back-to-back Champions League or back-to-back Ballon d'Or. But it's not the case. What do you think can be the problem? Because at least Mbappe win Champions League, may Yamin Lama win them. Now in the win them, would hope say may Haaland for even be there. But the people they were like 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, we really count on them. We really see them actually to win these major tournament, major trophies, and they will be expect. Which you think will be the problem?
Look at players like Mbappe or Haaland. They have good games or great games when they score goals. When they don't score goals, they don't have great games. So that's the difference. They cannot control the tempo of the game. They must receive that ball into space and make that run. Mbappe from the wings, Haaland in the box around that, but they don't bring much, when it comes to collective play. But when you see Lamine Yamal can have a great game. He doesn't score, but will still win man of the match. He's still 18 years old, you see? And Barcelona doesn't have... Look at Barcelona. Go look at Barcelona. Do you know the best player of Barcelona, apart from Lamine Yamal, is Rafinha? Rafinha did not play, right? Then you have Pedri. I'll say, okay, Rafinha, he is above 25 years. How many other players? Barcelona has 9 players coming from the academy. Don't get me wrong. When you look at their defense, who in that central defense can play in the top, let's say, for Real Madrid, for Manchester City? They are no-names player. And Barcelona is having a financial issue. So if you see Hansi Flick, who is a coach of Barcelona, able to compete at this level, should Barcelona's financial situation get better, Of course, Lamine Yamal is just 18 years old. He still has time to win the Champions League, you know. But players like
In that
Mbappe, yeah, go ahead.
Palava financial situation, would you see team like Manchester City with all the money and everything, yet they not be productive? So I know you think some money they actually play some role because Real Madrid get money and they get players, but they not be productive. So you really think some money gets some role for players?
Of course, money has a big role to play in football. How many teams win without money? Just think about it. Call me how many teams you know that win.
But Barcelona, they almost win league now where they don't get money reach Real Madrid.
But they have the one thing with Barcelona is that last year they won the league, right? One thing with Barcelona is that they have a different module than everybody. 9 players playing for Barcelona from the academy. You see, that's their business model. The years even when Barcelona spent a lot of money buying what's his name, Coutinho from Liverpool, buying a Griezmann from Atletico Madrid, they were not that good. However, a team like Paris Saint-Germain, they had to go back, you know, to put confidence in the young players. But those are teams that also spend big. Football is about money, but you still have to be able, you know, to have a solid core, a solid foundation. You know, Real Madrid buy. They buy the best players, you know, and you know they've been winning. But the past 2 years, as I said, Real Madrid needs to find a way. Mbappe was a luxury. You know, they did not actually need Mbappe. Look at how Real Madrid, when Mbappe was injured Real Madrid, that's when Real Madrid actually eliminated Manchester City. But they had fallen back to a different tactical approach, 4-4-2, coming for the 4-3-3. That actually favored, what's his name? Vinicius. But this last game, did you actually, of course, he gave an assist to
because I feel like that was now one of the challenges that Alonso will get. If you ask my personal opinion, I feel like Alonso did not want to use Mbappe and Vinicius. But Mbappe and Vinicius, they go make their friendship for where now either they use with 2 or you, the coach, go, and finally the coach began for go. So I don't know if you hold the same opinion, say for Real Madrid right now, for between Mbappe and Vinicius, now one man get for play.
I think the 4-4-2 formation brought Real Madrid back to life, right? However, unfortunately, Mbappe was injured. So Vinicius, it favored Vinicius. Now that Mbappe came back, they haven't won with that formation. You see? So, of course, when Alonso was there, he had problems with Vinicius. You know, but the team was not actually playing that good as well. And you know, Real Madrid sometimes it's about the star players. They are the ones making that big money for the clubs, you know. So the manager had to go, right or wrong, the manager had to go.
Another coach I want to talk about Simone for Atletico. Not a big money club, but years after years, if we say they don't produce result where it makes sense. What do you think?
You want me to tell you something? You said not the big money club, right?
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid has spent more money than Barcelona for the past 3-4 years. Yeah. Simeone is one of the most paid, the highest paid coach in football. Simeone, that is.
Wow. Go ahead.
So they are a big money club. They are a big money club. However, they have a different culture. Their fans are happy to make it to the semifinals. For them, it's like winning the Champions League, you know. So this is a great season actually for them.
What do you think about Lookman?
He had a good game yesterday. But hey, his ball handling skills are actually very good. He scored a great goal, but I mean that's about it. I don't think he understands the type of football that Atletico actually plays yet. You know, it's a very, very defensive team, and he is more of an attacking player, you know. So he's the one actually defending a lot, and then you see the goal he scored yesterday. He found himself in that attacking position, so he understands. But he always plays about, let's say, an hour, 60 minutes. Then he's taken out because does a lot of defensive game. I think it's a good signing for Atletico Madrid, especially when he scored. I think he scored a hat trick against Barcelona in Copa del Rey. So Atletico Madrid, I guess they're having a good season with him so far.
More touch a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about. I don't know. I feel like he can be a better leader for the Nigerian team than Osimhen is wanting to force himself as a leader. I don't know what you think.
No, everybody has their chance, their place to play for that Nigerian national team, and I think Nigerian national team has a lot. I mean, it's just like most African teams, that try to count a lot on these binationals and all that without no great foundation. 2, 3 years, 4 years. I mean, it's 4 or 5 years they have been playing now for Nigerian national team. So their era is almost. I mean, next African Nations Cup, that will be their last chance to try to win something. They're not going for the World Cup. Next African Nations Cup is actually it's next year, so they still have some time. But for me, Lookman is a type of player where, for me, it's not a player I can build a team around. He's not a player that I can build a team around. One thing with Osimhen is have you seen Osimhen's work ethic on the field? No matter the amount of noise.
But that's the problem. Like if you good for pitch, but you never actually lead a group, it go always difficult. You don't think so? Because they never qualify for 2 World Cup where they'll be involved. Even Nations Cup, I think they never win any major tournament. When I be probably push Rigobert Song will talk say Lookman and Osimhen are not world-class player. But for me, Lookman can actually be a world-class player, especially if they give leadership for Nigeria for you to prove itself.
I mean, it depends what you call world-class player. Rigobert Song for me is not worthy to actually say something like that, especially when you said Mbeumo is a world-class player and Osimhen is not a World Cup player. Mbeumo has never played Champions League. Osimhen is scoring goal upon goals in Champions League. But you say Mbeumo is a world-class player and Osimhen is not a World Cup player. When Osimhen has won La Liga, scoring, being one of the highest goal scorer in La Liga, but then you say he's not a world-class player. So, I mean, does that make sense? That doesn't actually make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
What should be a prediction for Champions League? Who you think will win the trophy?
It's difficult to say, man. It's difficult to say because Bayern Munich looks very good. Paris Saint-Germain is playing good football. Arsenal is a defensive-minded team. And when you get to the finals, anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. Even at
from quarterfinal, semi-final level.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I slightly favor Bayern Munich to go through to the finals. Let's say Bayern Munich, Arsenal. But again, these margins are so small. The margins are so small. Any team can make it to the finals.
EPL. How you watch them?
Woo! Honestly, I said Arsenal will win the EPL. But now, this game coming Sunday, Manchester City, Arsenal. Arsenal needs to avoid a loss in the hands of Manchester City. It's going to be tough. But hey, if you want to win the EPL, you have to go out on Manchester City and inflict defeat on Manchester City. That's how you win the EPL.
So you wish me Arsenal win, or you sure say that they're capable of win?
I'd call them winners long time ago, but that was before the transfer window. Manchester City improved their team during the transfer window with 2 players, Gay and what's his name? the Ghanaian player, the right winger, and those guys
Mhm.
have boosted the team. They have made Manchester City. Manchester City quite now is one of the hottest teams in the EPL. So they play Arsenal next week, this Sunday, this coming Sunday. So it's gonna be a good one to watch.
Manchester United, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to ask. They give you hope today, tomorrow they go and do something, and you're like, okay, wait till it really happen.
And one thing with Manchester United is that their coach is doing very well, but they are not playing Champions League football. They're just playing the EPL, So they have lots
Mhm.
of time. They rested for about 3 weeks without no football, So they have the legs. But again, as time goes, many teams actually begin to figure out, you know, the tactical changes that you actually made. Leeds,
So
they
when you
have
say
Leeds
they
United.
need play. Sorry, ma, cut you short. I beg. They need play Champions League football yet. Now two Champions League football teams they lead the league. So it means it never make any sense. Because if you don't play, you get for rest enough for win all your for crush all your games.
Well, yeah, and it's not only about resting, right? Because the mid-table teams, there's a lot of teams that are not playing Champions League football, have been knocked out of the FA
Mhm.
Cup, Carabao. Well, the Carabao Cup is finished, But again, you have to approach the game. The game against Leeds, they've had a good run, The second after firing their coach, but the game against Leeds, they went
Mhm.
down, one man, and then it was difficult for them. But Manchester United has been a better team ever since they fired the coach, and now they are actually strong, one of the favorites to make it to the Champions League next year. So next year when they play Champions League football, you will be able to assess the team better because now they'll be fighting on two fronts.
May they even qualify for play the Champions League before we talk. Because the way the coach just start now, change lineup and things like that, I don't know what to be a take on that.
No, I think they'll qualify because if you look at the other teams, Chelsea is not playing good football. Aston Villa, they same points with Aston Villa. So who's gonna leapfrog Manchester United? I don't think Aston Villa is still playing the European Cup. So I think Manchester United is in good position to actually make the Champions League. I think they'll make the Champions League.
Since where Buemo go back after Nations Cup, he made some really good. He had some good performances, scored some good goals, and then just stop. Not only stop, but I feel like he don't start it deep. Probably reason why coach take advantage, leave it for us. I play Sesko this time around. Do you think that coach, the decision to play Sesko over Buemo, was right?
Well, Sesko is more of a center forward. Mbeumo is more of a
Yeah.
winger. I do understand at
Mhm.
Brentford, he was the focal point, scoring 20 goals. But when you come now to Manchester United, your chances are actually reduced. Can he step up and be the main guy? I don't
Mhm.
know, but that's gonna be the challenge for him, you know, because now you are not the main guy. You have a center forward, Sesko, who's been strong playing. You have Bruno Fernandez, So it's not just him as the star player. You have many others that can also play and score goals. And that's actually what it takes to play at a very high level and be the man. So you see now the challenges, So there are challenges, but hey, he has the talent, but can he be the man week in, week out, especially next season coming, playing Champions League football and then playing, EPL? That's the challenge when you play in a team that has great expectations.
I have a feeling, correct me if I'm wrong. I have a feeling if Manchester qualify for Champions League, Mbeumo will get placed for that team because if Manchester qualify for Champions League, they definitely need to buy at least three high profile players, probably a good defender, a good midfielder, and one super attacker. And with the fact say the roster put you for position and Ahmad Diallo or something is actually in good shape right now, Buemo will probably get placed for Manchester United.
No, I think he's very talented. And when you look at Manchester United, what Manchester United are you talking about? Manchester United is not the Manchester United of 10 years ago, 12 years ago, you know. Do you think a player like Amar Diallo can score more goals than Buemo? No, he can't. You know, he can't. And I think Buemo is more talented than him. He's a better scorer than Amar Diallo. But again, it's just gonna get very, very competitive, for all of them, especially when it gets to next year after World Cup. Players coming back after World Cup. Good enough for him, he's not going to the World Cup. So he's gonna be fresh. You see, Amad Diallo, they might all go into the World Cup. They're gonna come back and all that. But Buemos is gonna be fresh. He's gonna be well rested. Good enough for him. He's not going to the World Cup. So you come back next year, it's another challenge. And the squad where you playing Champions League, you playing FA Cup, you need a big team. So the competition is gonna be there. Then now you're gonna see if Manchester United can really, handle that pressure. So talking about buying 3 new players and all that, you can buy as many players as you want and still suck. So it's not a guarantee
But
that you buy all the players.
that's
Yeah, go
another
ahead.
thing. Now World Cup year. Now World Cup year, we mean say plenty players will prove themselves for World Cup and we easily get contracts from these major clubs. Now one other reason that I feel like if Buemo continue do it just like you talk, it never really be decisive like Gida last passes them or even score goals. Now why that way the coach be very comfortable for drop his may try Sesko, we don't always end up a second half, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and then they always can score, help the team win. I strongly believe, say, if Buemo not be careful, he go struggle for even get play time next season.
Uh, Not really. I think Buemo is a good player. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player. But again, Brentford is not Manchester United. You come, this is his first year in Manchester United. Amad Diallo has been in Manchester United before him. I don't think Amad Diallo can be a competition to Buemo. The type of football that I've seen Buemo play, he's more clinical than a player like Amad Diallo. And going to the World Cup, nowadays, you don't see a lot of players. Of course, going to the World Cup, you go play the World Cup, but you don't see a lot of players getting big transfers, after the World Cup.
Mhm.
Because after the World Cup, even those who go to the World Cup, you barely have about 3 weeks, a month to come and then fit into a new team. So if a team is looking at you only at the World Cup in order to buy you, by the time they buy you, you need time to go have a rest, then make the great transfer over. You need time to settle in the squad. Players like Buemo will be already ahead of the schedule, you know. And it's not bad for his first year. In 26 EPL games, he's had 9 goals, 3 assists, you know, which is not actually very bad. By the end of the season, maybe he's gonna be in double figures. And if they make Champions League, the goals are actually shared around. Last season for Brentford, he scored how many goals? 20 goals. But him and Wieser were the focal point of that team. At Manchester United, everything's changed. Sesko wants to score. What's his name? The Brazilian also wants to score.
Mhm.
Fernandez is taking all the penalties. At Brentford, Buemos was the one taking
He
all the
was taking
penalties.
the
Exactly.
that's true.
So you remember what I told you, right? You remember what I told you about who the biggest star in Cameroon national team is? Our TV, Andre Onana.
I want to talk a little bit about World Cup before we round up. How do you feel the atmosphere? It's not. It doesn't feel like a World Cup year.
I think because you are saturated with football, when the World Cup starts, then you're gonna get that World Cup fever, and then the ticket prices are crazy, man. The ticket prices are crazy. However, I think it's gonna drop. It's gonna drop. I plan to be in Houston maybe to watch some games. So hopefully those ticket prices gonna drop, man. Because I'm not looking to pay about how many $1,000 for a ticket to go watch what football. I'm not that I'm not that crazy, man. I'll rather sit somewhere in a fun area with all the energy and watch it.
Fans
I'm
will-
not about to pay $1,000 to go to a FIFA World Cup game.
How do you see the preparation for different teams, especially the African teams? You think any team from Africa go make things happen this year?
Well, with 48 teams in the World Cup, believe me, I've seen some groups for some African teams. It's gonna be easy for them, but I ain't gonna lie you. What I saw Congo do against Jamaica to qualify, I'm a little bit scared of African teams, man. You see what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit scared of some African teams. Let me not say all, some African teams. I think the guys Senegal, Morocco, maybe Egypt, maybe Ghana. Ghana is changing coaches before the World Cup. I don't like that. Morocco also changed coaches. Of course, Morocco was inevitable because now Morocco, they are changing their style of play. Morocco will not be the same Morocco of last season where they defended and counterattack. So I don't know how they will fare in this World Cup, but maybe a team like maybe South Africa comes and surprise us, you know. But I expect at least 4 African teams to make it out of the group stage. That will be success for me. At least 4 out of 10, you know.
I, I don't know. I don't know. Before we go for that one, man, and I really wonder if we enjoy the World Cup the way other World Cups always be. The ambience, people flying in and out. That fun part of the whole thing with the situation with the country. I don't know if you see and me.
You have been watching too much news. You've been watching too much news. Don't let the news affect you. You got to change your mindset. You got to be positive. You're gonna say you're gonna make the best out of this World Cup, you know, and you're gonna enjoy yourself, bro. Don't worry about too much the lot of stuff that is going on. I pray that Iran actually comes and play the World Cup, which I saw a statement from FIFA that Iran will actually come and play the World Cup. You know, don't watch too much news. Don't let your mindset be affected. You know, the World Cup is gonna be great. We're gonna have fun. We must have fun.
What is your prediction for World Cup?
Damn, man, it's gonna be tough, man. It's tough to predict such a World Cup, but I'm seeing the lads like France. Woo, what a team! But one thing about football, right? Football is very, very unpredictable. You see a team
Yeah.
like France, they have
Yeah.
Mbappe, they have Olise, they have this guy got injured, Desiree Doué. You know, those have so many young, talented players. But guess what? If that chemistry is not there, hey, you can be beaten anytime. Spain is also there. Portugal is there. You know, so there are some good teams. I think the first round is gonna be boring because with 48 teams, you're gonna see some ugly games, some
Yeah.
games that you like, oh, is this World Cup? What's this? You're gonna see 7-0. You're gonna see, believe me, bro, you will see like 7-0, 8-0. You say, like, is this World Cup? Because you know, when you increase the number of teams coming to the World Cup, Cape Verde. You think
Start
Cape
bringing
Verde, what
weak people.
Cape Verde, teams like Cape Verde, they're gonna take a whooping. Believe me, because I watched them play Cameroon. I watched them qualify. They didn't qualify. Don't get me wrong; they deserve their qualification, but they didn't qualify
Yeah.
because they are a better
They were
footballing. Because
really
they have name me 1, 2 players that have played for Cape Verde. Name 2. You don't even know, you know. So I mean, it just tells you like how, you know, some of these qualification games, you ask yourself, how did this team qualify? Yep, you will ask yourself that question. Just wait and see. Some games
Probably
will not be worth
Ronaldo.
watching. Huh?
Probably Ronaldo last World Cup, and I feel like Portugal still want to build a team around him. They get any chance?
It's one of those things, right? You are lucky to have a guy like Ronaldo make history, play for you, Portugal. But the coach they have, Roberto Martinez, of course, he won that what do they call it? Nations Cup, European Nations Cup, that tournament that they
Mhm.
actually beat Spain in the final,
Nations
something like
League
that.
or something.
Nations League, exactly. But I don't think that guy's he tactically he could good, but I don't think he's a good manager. You know, I don't think he's a good man. He has some good players. He has some great players. You know, but playing with Cristiano Ronaldo, what it means is that You guys, when defending, you are defending 10 against 11. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Yep. You're
And
defending 10
World,
against.
World Cup from quarterfinal upwards. Now high pace game where everybody need to be involved. So I don't know if a Portugal that's playing with one man down. I don't know if they fit stand they really stand that those teams like France and the rest of the way they get younger players and they play with they like their games na speed speed and power. I'm put on that way.
Yeah, the game has been many players now. You see very young players like Spain, France, Germany, so there's a lot of, they cover a lot of area, a lot of kilometers on the pitch and all that. So it's a lot of running. And guess what? The temperature is going to be hot also this summer.
Yeah.
So if you're playing with a guy, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's 40. I think a player is coming to the World Cup. Dzeko is also 40. What other player? Is Luka Modric coming? He's also 40. So there are some.
Yeah.
They are looking to break the records of Roger Miller. But they are coming to America. It's gonna be very hard, man. It's gonna be very hard. But however, man, they got some good young talent, in order to come. Let's say if Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't start, he comes 15 minutes, 10 minutes towards the end of the game, So that's what's gonna happen.
What to be some of the things the way you the plan for enjoying for the World Cup?
Honestly, I haven't planned anything yet, but I plan to meet. There's this interesting kid. I had a show with him on my podcast. He's coming from England, so he's gonna be in Houston. So I plan to go there in Houston and maybe check out some of the fun areas and see, what the organization committee, what FIFA has to offer. I think it's gonna be fun. Just meeting some people, different fans, and all that. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. By the time it starts and all that, you're gonna forget because, hey, those who have invested money, they need to make money, right? So,
Yeah.
Oga on top will relax.
Master, make that man relax, master. Make
We
relax.
are
I
not
really
calling anyone. We
maybe
just Oga on top.
FIFA give another award. So maybe like, hey, now so the thing they give people plenty award. May Emma can enter play. I really
Yep.
wish it can be a fun. Yeah.
Yeah. This is it's gonna be fun. As soon as it starts, I believe it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very fun because we have a lot of South Americans, also it's Latino. You go to Houston, Texas. I mean, a lot of Cameroonians out there. I mean, I have to check the games that are coming, but as far as I think June 20th, that's to around June 25th. That's when I plan to be around Houston, Texas to actually watch the games. Maybe I come to Dallas. I don't know, but I just want to get out
I'm
of.
just lucky
I could have
because
gone to Atlanta, but I want to go somewhere where I know I have my roots, Texas.
and that's another thing also. Watching those games, I think it's more fun when you go with a few people where when I really watch, laugh, make jokes, maybe for some language where you really because in as much as football get the same language, when you are man when I see I'm the same when I discuss them, it's completely different. For me, football is fun when I feel story am and then story am for some level, for some deep level. We'll end the show with Africa. It's chaotic right now. I don't even know what is happening. I know you're a Mosepe guy, so I know even go ask some kind of questions about Mosepe. Morocco, Senegal, CAF. What is your take on that whole situation right now?
What game did we watch? The game yesterday, right? I mean, let me draw a parallel. Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. There were some controversial moments, but I've come to realize that because I have a lot of common friends, and I'm talking about Cameroonians, Africans. When we watch the Champions League, we see mistakes by the ref, mistakes by the VAR, The goalkeeper passes the ball, the defender holds the ball. It should be a penalty. The ref doesn't call it. Coaches complain. But those coaches have a channel on which to complain, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's after the
Yeah.
game. They go press conference, they complain. Now, when it goes to Africa, there's a mistake that happens on the free. A coach asks the players to leave the pitch. That's unheard of. But yet, what surprises me the most is that the same Africans that we watch Champions League with, the same friends that I watch Champions League with, that will not tolerate that type of behavior when we are watching Champions League, are the same ones that will tolerate that type of behavior when we are watching African football. So it's a legacy problem. It's a trust problem in our football that needs to be resolved. It did not start today, okay? But now that football, we can watch football even with our phones. When we were growing up 10, 20 years ago, if you don't get out of your house, most people, you get out of your house,
Yeah.
you have to travel maybe 10, 15 minutes to go somewhere in order to watch it from a TV with about maybe 200 people. You know, how many people were watching football? How many people understood what was going on around the pitch? I think in 2002, 2000 or something like that, Thomas Kono before the game was handcuffed,
Was handcuffed.
you know. So those things, intimidations during football games, we have seen it all in Africa. You know, so it's not something that started today. So those who are saying that Motsepe has spoiled African Cup of Nations, spoiled CAF, they're just ignorant. It's just ignorance, you know, because these things actually happen. Refs will make mistakes. You know, I'm not saying that we should support that type of, because I blasted Morocco. Morocco for me is very, very unsportsmanship. You know, what they did. I mean, nowadays you cannot do those things. Everybody's watching, but you're looking to intimidate in order to win. So we have a long way to go, you know, to build our football, but we cannot do these things. And one thing that's holding us behind, when I say these things, people think I'm clowning. We don't have a culture. Senegal doesn't have a culture of a good football league in Senegal. The pathway that Senegal has chosen to grow their football is through football academies. You know, they look to sell players in Europe. That's their pathway that they have chosen. And they started that about some 15 years ago. So now we see consistency is bearing fruits. But that's for the short run, right? Because for the long run, what's going to happen? Those who are investing in their football, like in the local leagues, that's how football should be grown. Grassroots football. And I said these things long ago. Cameroon hasn't done that. We went and built stadiums that we cannot afford. What's happening to those stadiums? Those stadiums are running. If you don't have money, if you don't make revenue in order to take care of these giant projects, you know, because what happens? Of course, you can build a very good stadium, but if you are not maintaining the turf, what happens? How are you going to play?
Yeah.
What Cameroon needed to do is build football pitches, integrate football in schools, so that we can grow from the grassroots, you know, that can sustain our local leagues. Because one thing that made Cameroon football great was the local leagues back in the 70s. That's what made Cameroon football great. You know, but I think we have lost track. So when you talk about CAF, you know, CAF is doing a very good thing. When I say that, people say money is not everything. Wow, money goes a long way. If you see all this good football, it's money. And the European are actually using Africa as a nursery, right? They know there's talent in Africa. When a player leaves Africa, they go to Europe. It's now like in the Scandinavians. And they go to the Scandinavians, they go learn their trade there, then they transition in the top 5 European leagues for chicken change. Yes, chicken change. Check it out. The Osimens, the Kudus, Nicholas Jackson, all these guys. How much was their transfer fee by the time they moved into Europe? And by the time they started moving to the top five leagues, how much was his transfer fee? But now, guess what? It's either Mets or Scandinavian teams that actually sold them that are taking the lion's share of the money. You know,
Yep.
so we have to change. We have to change our business modules. We have to change our ecosystem. A lot has to be changed. But how can it change if you have governments that are not stable? That cannot help football federations in order to attain their goals. So because it's a collective effort, it's a collective effort. Football is never built by one person. It's a collective effort.
True. But I think we don't touch almost everything. But you talked about I don't want to say criticize. You sound a little bit like you oppose the idea of countries actually begin building world class stadiums like Cameroon was trying to do when they were hosting the Nations Cup. But we get the issue too where Morocco seems like it's holding Africa hostage because they provide a playground for Africa for CAF for host tournaments. Them, I don't know how we settle that particular issue. One make Cameroon and other countries they build world class stadiums because they probably not get enough resources for do that. But then the one person we don't build them, the one use we personally because this is my point. If it deny few months before few days, weeks before a competition for host the competition because they are in their feelings, I feel like that is them trying to hold us hostage because they know say we're back in there for one.
Well, let me tell you one thing about football, right? Countries try to
Mm-hmm.
use, or teams try to use any little advantage they have, okay,
Mm-hmm.
in their favor. In the past 10 years, if I tell you how many teams have failed to organize the African Cup of Nations, and then it has been pushed to the next. Cameroon failed in 2019. It was pushed to Egypt. What team was supposed to help to host? Was it Egypt? Then it was pushed to Equatorial Guinea. I've forgotten. I mean, there's been
It
many.
was Morocco, that Ebola time.
Ebola, yes, then it was put to Equatorial Guinea. So
It was
there are
Morocco.
many instances. Yeah, there are many instances in the African football history where a nation has failed to host and they try to shift it around and all that. So it's a big problem. I'm not saying that nations should not build stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
Build small. What I'm saying is that before you build these stadiums, take care of your domestic games. Because if you build a stadium, look at Japoma. Look at how many times have you seen Union Douala or a Douala team played in their stadium? They cannot afford it. They cannot afford it because they don't have the money. So why build those big stadiums when you cannot afford it? Does it make sense? There's no
No,
logic. There's no logic.
what to be a stand about Samuel Eto'o at this moment?
In respect to what?
Anything like when the name Eto'o comes to mind, a president will take a full right now. What do you think?
Well, it's
Failure,
unfortunate that
success, struggling.
Cameroonians think that football should be centered around Samuel Eto'o. The even the press. What I've started doing on Facebook is that I unfollow a lot of that Cameroonian press. Because how can you be talking football is going on in Cameroon? You are talking how Samuel Eto'o, Dembaba. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? How many people know, like, even the names of players? But it's quite unfortunate. There's this Cameroon football has become like very, very toxic. You don't see the game. Every time you hear them talking about Cameroon is when there's the FIFA series.
Serious.
But
Or there's a game coming up.
Bro, do you know what the FIFA series is? The
Mm-mm.
FIFA series, the high profile teams that were in the FIFA series was Chile and Cameroon. Listen, Chile and Cameroon, high profile. And let me tell you, there were about 9 groups of three teams each. But the highest profile teams that were there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Australia was also there
Mm-hmm.
because Australia is ranked higher than Cameroon. So is that something to be excited about until people are fighting? And bro, bro, what can I say? But that's Cameroon football. That's Cameroon football nowadays. I mean, if we are excited, World Cup year, that we are going to play FIFA series. Look at our players. I mean, it's quite unfortunate, right? We want these kids to succeed, but sometimes you have to call a stick a stick, call a spade a spade. Eta Eyong, ever since he left, he went back to his club. They wanted to send him to Moscow. I'm happy he did not go, although now his pain there's some backlash. But I'm happy he did not go, because when you go to Russia, especially now that FIFA has suspended them, bro, you're on your way to retirement. Who goes to Russia and comes back out of Russia?
No, no person.
Who goes to Russia and come back out of Russia? You know, they will give you some vodka and the blonde women over there. Boy, you're finished.
Baba, thank you very much. Um, yeah, thank you very much. On Sunday we have a conversation on B nationals. I have someone who thinks this whole idea of B national, the sure national team, but I have a contrary opinion. I don't know which be opinion. I know say you don't talk something to Sunday. You sound like you know like the parawa B nationals. But if you get a chance on Sunday, more talk about them. I really feel like it's something important or a good conversation.
Oh yeah. I mean, not that I have anything against them, but it's just that you cannot base your football only on on foreign-based players, right? Because what is football? I've always asked myself this question: what is football? Is football at the national team level, or is football at the local level? You know, in order to have a great national team, you must have a good football culture locally. You know, you cannot be chasing binationals, then you forget your own kids at home. You know, I believe that Cameroon is supposed to be investing in the kids at home. If you don't invest in the kids at home, you are chasing the Buemos and all that. What do they actually represent? That's why I keep telling people Onana is the leader of the Cameroonian national team. As soon as you take Onana out of that national team, who can lead that national team? Okay. Of course, sometimes it's not about making friends. You don't go to the national team to make friends. You don't stay in the team to be friends. You go there for a job, for a duty, even at professional level. You think everybody at those teams are friends? No, but they have a duty to go do, you know. So playing football, you know, it's not about national team. As soon as we start realizing that, make it a duty to build grassroots football back home. Go back to the schools, to the high, to how do you call it, primary schools, the high school, and all that. Build pitches all over in Bisongabang, in Kumba. Build pitches where kids can actually play football. That's when football is gonna go back to Cameroon, not by chasing the Buemos or chasing players that don't want to play for Cameroon.
Okay, Baba, thank you very much. I think Selmina, you go set up a show for talk about Onana role for national team. I feel like the guy destroyed not only the national team, destroyed his own career. Right now, I don't understand why Manchester United no even want to. Manchester United no they even get some super goalkeeper. But for team for choose say better will play with person we get 1 foot than will play with you will also get 2 foot. They will go to ask yourself that question. But again, thank you very much for this show. If you did that well,
Yeah, Max Ikwakio, you know, one of the best goalkeepers for the world right now. 40 years old.
Huh?
40 years old. Neuer. You agree, say Neuer is
No,
one of
no.
the best goalkeepers in the world?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
You see the mistakes that we make on today?
So this is I don't know if I should answer, if I should respond, or you still go for some side. This is a thing. No man that talks on a bad goalkeeper. No man. I never ever talk on a bad goalkeeper. I don't always talk say Onana a character. No fee permitted for play for any club. And if you look at the way Manchester United the treaty, it is more of a character issue. It's not more. It's not about his talent. No, not because he be make some kind of mistake, then they score. Now that kind of situation, we mean that you play ball small, no, or mean that you don't be for that kind of million the way. All defender David decides if this man will continue play, will not be with, will not play with. And if you look some person like this guy, Maguire did that kind of person. If you hold that kind of do, see if this particular goalkeeper, because the goalkeeper it is shout at we when we make mistake, we don't keep person. But yet when he make his own mistake, we need to talk. So I just feel like that is Onana's problem. Even for Turkey, we don't see for locker room. Eto'o actually had that same issue. But Eto'o be there fortunate, say, he be the score, and if he gets some people that are maybe if you make small open eye for them, they leave. And but guess what? Once Guardiola showed up, the first thing Guardiola had talked and say, I don't want Deco, I don't want Eto'o, I don't want Ronaldinho. It never be there and I said they never be good players. They had character issue. So now the thing I might always tell people, Onana is a bad goalkeeper. He just get character issues where if he fix him, if he bounce back. But if you don't fix him for Europe, he go strong. Take for instance, Osimhen.
Manchester United don't ever talk say Onana get character issues.
Then if you talk for public.
No. When you say they has character issues, and
okay. Tell me one player where Manchester United don't come out the year talk say get character issue.
What do you mean by that? I don't accuse any
player. Tell
me
one player for the last 10 years. Manchester don't actually come out talk say the person get character issue.
I don't accuse any players of getting character issues. Now you the talk to Onana get character issues.
No, you ask me say Manchester United don't talk, and I want to tell you say Manchester United if you ever can talk him. But guess what? When Ronaldo don't leave, they'll tell you that Ronaldo be the problem. When Pogba don't leave, they'll tell you Pogba be get problem.
No, but Manchester United has never said that. Onana doesn't play for Manchester. They have never said that.
Now what they talk say. Right now,
Onana left just because he didn't want to sit on the bench.
He's still on the contract with them. They didn't even talk any kind of thing.
They let him. He didn't want to sit on the bench.
Boss, more set up a debate, more set up a show. We'll talk about this. Like I don't talk for me on an again a character issue. Even for Cameroon national team, it's the same thing.
Everybody has a character issue with Cameroon national team. If you know Kiss Eto'o as you have a character problem, Cameroon national team. That's why they're not even winning. So Cameroon national team is not even important, bro.
Maybe the leader more talk about background. Maybe we schedule the life for actually break down this Onana issue, because most people feel like, oh, good. No, Onana is good. No mistake, no, Onana make a goalkeeper, they never make him. So different thing they will make the team say, you know what, we prefer the other man. And wait until he diagnose him, until we actually say, okay, maybe this is where the problem is. Then we fix him. Okay, yeah. Baba, thank you very much, man. Thank you very much for today.
Okay, bro. Have a good one. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Wow. This was wonderful. Always a good thing having these conversations with him, especially when we'll go back and forth until they will not agree. But yeah, thank every person who watch, thank every person who share, thank every person who comment. This was Toride. We were discussing football. Definitely hoping to have a wonderful show also. This was a good one. Definitely hope to continue on Sunday with my brother Innocent and my brother used to talk about B-Nationals. One of the biggest challenge we get of African football now, they picking the way they born in the Wyman country for diaspora, they grow for this. Some of them actually go for the way they're really young. But most of them, they play reach on level where they hope to play for that country where they play for the whether France or England or America. And then when they don't get possibility to play for they run come back now for can play for Africa for Cameroon, for Nigeria, for Ghana. Right now, Ghana get players away, na B nationals away. They come for only one can go play in a World Cup. During the time before World Cup, when Ghana will play qualification, they call them, they can't help, they deny for camp. But all of a sudden now they show interest for camp play. So plenty of people don't really like the B nationals. And some they say, oh, they're not really when they come, they need really blend with team. But also some B nationals also actually play for African sides and they're doing extremely well. People like Hakimi. So on Sunday we'll get a talk, we'll get a debate on whether B nationals they actually help African football or African teams, or we should just turn our back on them. And if you go play for that side, if you know what can remain for the you know ever come or can play for Africa. But again, thank you guys for everything. I think it was a wonderful one.